November Day in Newark. One team will finish up their first season of Conference USA football, while another will wrap up their last. It's the Delaware Blue Hens versus the UTEP Miners from Delaware Stadium. Happy Thanksgiving weekend, everyone. I'm Scott Klatzkin, thankful to be next to former NFL quarterback Pat Devlin. And Pat, Delaware's used to playing FCS football playoffs at this time of year, but just because there isn't playoff football going on right now doesn't mean there isn't a whole lot to play for.
Yep. Delaware has the opportunity today to get to 6 wins and become bowl eligible in their first year at the FBS level. And that just means a ton for this program, and you know Coach Carty really wants to get there. They can do it on their home turf, and they can defend their home field.
To pick up that 6th win, this Delaware team will have to slow down a rushing attack that featured a quarterback that can scramble and a running back that ran for 181 yards last week.
Absolutely. UTEP brings a breakout star in redshirt freshman Ashton Emery, who exploded for one of the top rushing performances in the country last week. He's powerful, he's patient, he hits home runs as he showed last week with a 56-yard burst against New Mexico State. The big question today is whether UTEP can recreate that magic against the Delaware defense that's been searching for answers the last couple weeks.
And looking to find those answers today will be a veteran defensive unit that want to leave their seniors going out on top.
Yeah, Scott, that experience has to show up today. KT Say leads the team with 3 interceptions and second in tackles. He's a big impact player for this defense. Gavin Mole leads the defense in tackles, and then there are these seniors on senior day who will need to step up. Those seniors, Hall, Hunter, Saunders, they've seen everything, but this matchup is about doing the simple things really well one last time in the tub. If this veteran group can control the line of scrimmage, set firm edges, and play disciplined, Delaware gives itself a real chance to finish senior day and the regular season the right way.
Will Delaware get a waiver, or will they wave goodbye to their chances at a bowl game? We'll find out coming up next on ESPN+. For the first and likely last time, Delaware and UTEP will meet up on the gridiron. The Hens close out their first season in Conference USA, while the squad from El Paso will move on to the Mountain West when this one is over today. Scott Klatzkin, Pat Devlin with you from Newark, where Delaware has lost only once this season, and on a last-second missed field goal at that. Another win, and they can make a case for a bowl game today, Pat.
Yeah, absolutely. Big game for the Blue Hens today, trying to become bowl eligible in their first season as an FBS school. Would just mean a ton. It would mean a ton for the direction of this program as well. You just never know what to expect that first year when you're making the step up to a new conference, new division, and Delaware has hung in there. They've won some games that a lot of folks thought they probably weren't going to win, and they've also lost some that most folks thought they weren't going to lose. So, you know, what Delaware team is going to show up today is a part of that question, and it depends on what kind of UTEP team shows up today as well in this cold weather.
Well, a day after Black Friday, it's midnight Saturday as Delaware dons the all-black uniform for the second time this season. They debuted them against Middle Tennessee State and got a win. Delaware all-time undefeated in their black jerseys. They call these the Midnight Collection. And Reed will kick this one away. Reed, number 91, that's also how many touchbacks he has in his career. That is a school record for Nate Reed. And so UTEP will get the football first. Nick Henry is back to return that kick. 11 kickoff returns on the season for Nick Henry. Averages 12 per return. Don't know if he'll get one. A little wind in the back of Nate Reed, and could send this one into the end zone as he typically does. There's touchback number 92 in the career of Nate Reed. Let's start with a quarterback spotlight sponsored by Christiana Care for the love of health. And as UTEP comes out onto the field, we take a look at Skylar Locklear, team leader with 8 rushing touchdowns. Has not thrown, though, for 250 yards in a game this season. He does it with his legs.
Yeah, you're not going to see him, throw it all over the field, but they actually do have a fair amount of explosives. They like to set up the run, do a little bit of the RPO, screen game, and then they will take some shots down the field. But to set up this offense, it is all about the run game to start, whether it's Ashton Emery or Skylar Locklear.
Emery ran for 181 yards a week ago and a loss to New Mexico State. Locklear throws the wrong team to get things started. An interception to begin the day, and Delaware on the first play from scrimmage takes it back.
Yeah, it looked like there was a little bit of a miscommunication there on the outside between a couple of the wide receivers. Locklear obviously putting it up deep. 17, Jalen Brown really just cut off his route, but there were two UTEP players in the same vicinity. You never want to see that if you're the offensive coordinator. Leads to a turnover, and now Delaware gets the ball right at the 50, and now we'll see what this high-flying Delaware offense can do.
That was a freshman, true freshman, Jamarion Calabote. His first career interception, and Delaware will start at midfield with Byron Ellison, who's looked good since coming in as a starter for Delaware this season. Over 3,000 passing yards.
Yeah, you see those stats, 62%, 28 total touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. He really throws the ball all over the field, and this team does, second most pass attempts in the FBS. And it's just a lot of fun to watch these guys move the ball all over the field.
Minicucci, first passing attempt of the day, finds Ellison, who had a...
Guys are going to come from, but it's a fun thing to watch if you're a fan.
Coach Carty was very complimentary about their third down defense for UTEP. Byron Ellison needs 7. He won't get there. And we talk about how good this UTEP defense is.
Explosives runs by doing that.
32nd attempt on fourth down this season for Delaware. And they'll roll out Nick Minicucci. He's got a wide open Wilson for a first down inside the 40. No stranger to trying to give.
And then first in Conference USA as far as how many first downs they generate. So again, really explosive offense here.
Minicucci pushes it again to Wilson. Wilson's been his favorite target down the stretch of this season. He went over on first down. Minicucci lofting end zone, and Jake Thal just couldn't get under it. Head coach of the blue and gold, Nick Minicucci, his quarterback, and run for it. Trying to dive for first down yards.
Down when you get in these kind of situations as well. So you can think maybe a shot to the end zone here.
On third down, Minicucci slings it, and miscommunication as he was looking for Kyrie Duplessis. Scott Moore in the ball game, and they'll give it to Minicucci. He'll keep it himself and run all the way into the end zone. Delaware trying to strike a chord with the UTEP Miners and go up 6-0.
Nick Minicucci's 10th rushing touchdown on the year. They're just able to do so many things when they get into the red zone. Obviously, that a fourth down play right there. You fake the run play just straight ahead. You get a lot of side-to-side movement with the UTEP Miner defense. Nick Minicucci is able to gash them right up the middle for an easy walk-in touchdown. Great job blocking up front by those big guys on the UD offensive line. 10th
rushing touchdown of the season for Nick Minicucci, and Nate Reed sends it through for the PAT. 7-0 Delaware. They take advantage of an early interception, and Nick Minicucci finds the end zone for the 10th time on the year.
Not today, but back in my day, I would have been able to run through that hole as well. That was a great job by that Delaware offensive line, creating a lot of movement. You love to see the movement pre-snap, a little bit of motion, a little bit of shifting by this Delaware offense, and it enables them to be able to gash this UTEP defense. But it all started with that turnover. One play by this UTEP offense, one interception. You get a short field and you're able to complete the drive and get it into the end zone. You got to be feeling good about that if you're this Delaware team. Coming off of a tough loss last week against Wake Forest. You're playing a Power 4 conference late in the season, late in your first year in FBS, and that game certainly didn't go the way they wanted it to, so this is a good job being able to recover from that.
You saw head coach Scotty Walden at 36 years old. He's the third youngest coach in FBS behind Zach Kitley of FAU and Kenny Dillingham of Arizona State. Coach Carty, also a youngster himself, 21st youngest head coach in the country is Ryan Carty. And the first play of this drive goes a little bit better than the first. Right. So it makes me, there aren't a whole lot of times where I'm considered young in anything. Locklear, that's 9-on-9. Keyshawn Hunter.
Rushing offense.
Third down and 2. Not a whole lot of room, but he powers through what was. And they'll run the football with Hashawn Wilson now that Emery has been taken to the sideline, and the senior from.
You just want to throw some wrinkles into the offense to get some of the guys excited. And, putting a couple big defensive guys on the field on offenses.
Two straight to Hashawn Wilson. Locklear will air it out, and he connects for a score from 49 yards away. It was
another wide 9, and a great ball by Skylar Locklear to put it right on the money for a UTEP touchdown.
I see that pass, and I wonder why he doesn't throw the ball a little bit more. That was a beautiful ball thrown by the redshirt junior from North Carolina. Extra point is good, and UTEP answers after going down 7-0. A third down strike from 49 yards away ties the score at 7 apiece. Really returns kicks for Delaware, but Brandon Raymond is a deep man, and it's a short kick. Raymond, the freshman transfer from West Virginia, gets it out to 25, and Nick Minicucci will have another turn at it. He ended up in the end zone after the opening drive, which came to Delaware after an interception from Jamarion Calabote. Nick Minicucci, we're on a Minicucci milestone watch today. He needs 215 yards passing to break the record at Delaware for passing yards per game in a season, which belongs to none other than Joe Flacco.
Coach Carty was really focused on that when we spoke with him this week, right?
He's not a big care about stats guy. He wants to win ball games, and I think they can probably go for any head coach with that. And moving the pile is none other than Joe Silver on that play. Here's Minicucci. You give Nick Minicucci some time, and he's going to find a target. That's Elijah Sessoms, who
to get on the ball, sometimes you could consider him the safety blanket for the quarterback. Good to see him get involved early here.
They swing it over to Joe Silver. Silver, back-to-back first downs on his first 2 touches since returning from injury.
Sean Wilson.
It'll be Minicucci. Nowhere to run that time. Diving forward to the 45. Nick Minicucci does so much. They fake it to Silver, and now Donovan Lewis with the rock. Pushing and shoving his way towards the first down marker.
Donovan Lewis.
Likely in 4-down territory if needed, and we'll see if it is indeed 4-down territory, because Silver just shy of the first down on that carry.
That they're going to go straight ahead.
That's a direct snap to Byron Ellison, who should have enough. Forward progress got him. It obviously did not. And so UTEP gets a stop on defense, and the offense will come back out onto the field when we come back. The push, not far enough for Delaware.
I think it's a good mark. I really do. He had to get to the 36 about to get that first down, and it looks like he was just short. I think it was a pretty good spot.
Well, UTEP gets the turnover on downs. The offense comes back onto the field. And Kenny Odom, last time we saw him, he was in the end zone. Now will be tackled for a loss.
Right downhill with inside zone.
That was Merge Malumba's team best 7th tackle for loss on the year. Malumba getting more and more snaps since Dylan Traynor, one of the captains. It's Rory Bernard you're looking at.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 69, 15-yard penalty. It's third down. The down counts.
Yeah, James
this
Williams.
is number 69's first unsportsmanlike foul of the game toward disqualification.
James Williams with the unsportsmanlike there. When we look at the stats going into every game, one of the ones that jumped off of the page was the number of penalties that this UTEP team had, first in the conference. Average of 63 penalties on the season. You know, not necessarily undisciplined in that instance, you might actually say that, but one of those things that can really set back an offense, especially one like this that needs to be able to run the ball.
Third and El Paso. And James Yelbert and Keyshawn, the quarterback hunter, with a big-time sack. Delaware will get the football back. Noah Botsford's punt. This not his best. He'll bounce at midfield. Thal will get away from it. It'll take a UTEP roll. Bonsford had a 70-yard.
Holding. Holding. Receiving team. Number 16. 10-yard penalty. Correction.
We'll get it. We'll get it.
Holding. Return team. Number 16. 10-yard penalty. It's first down.
You know, talking about the weather and, you know, would it affect Delaware? Not a whole lot of cold weather games this year, traveling around Conference USA. And, you know, you would think it would affect the team from El Paso a little bit more than the team from Delaware. So, I'm sure it's a nice day on the campus of the UTEP Miners today, back home.
Looked it up a couple hours ago. 71 in El Paso, December.
Minicucci's had some time to deliver today, and Donovan Lewis, the recipient that time.
On the money, you always want to leave that ball outside.
Steps up, this time it's Patterson's turn. Close to first down yards, gets into UTEP territory and spreading the love. In 6 games this season, they're the only team in college football to achieve that mark. Silver spinning and keeping those legs moving across the 40. You can tell he's wanted to get back on this football field after missing the last 2. Dumping it down to Silver. Some green ahead of him. And another first down for Joe Silver. Has been very active today. 4 carries. And that's his 3rd catch in the first quarter.
It's trying to take advantage of knowing where these guys are going to line up.
Nick Tyree, the speedster, gets into the red zone at the 20-yard line. Minicucci rolls. Patterson. Max Patterson hit hard as he's shoved out of bounds inside the 10.
Again, good easy completions. These guys know where UTEP is going to line up on 1st and 2nd down. Let's just find a way to find some completions and stay ahead of the sticks. So far, this Delaware offense has done a good job of doing that, avoiding the negative plays. Looks like they're going to take it to the end of the first here.
We'll switch sides. Delaware on the attack. 1st and goal to go for the Blue Hens. A tie score after 15. 1st and goal to go to start the 2nd quarter of the Delaware Blue Hens, led by Nick Minicucci, who was 10 of 12 in the first frame. We'll start with Byron Ellison, picking up 5. Byron was a starter for Delaware.
Setting the pads early, this Delaware offense.
Minicucci, end zone, Scott Moore's first career touchdown.
Yeah, Connor Whittoff not able to go today, leaving the door open for Scott Moore. Scott Moore doing a great job making the most of it. We've seen a couple of those passes to the flat early on in the field. They bring it to the red zone in this dynamic red zone offense. And an easy play fake, throw it to the flat. Scott Moore with a walk-in touchdown and his first as a UD Blue Hen.
True freshman from Girard, Kansas. He's come along since that injury to Connor Whittoff, as you mentioned, Pat, and finds the end zone. Nate Reed gets it through. 14-7. Delaware starts the 2nd quarter with a touchdown from the tight end.
And you wonder why, right? It's just, but the football is such a game of momentum that just something little, like, you know, sleeping in your own bed or sleeping at home, right? It just makes a difference in that travel, and you got to get used to it. Delaware's not used to traveling all over the country to play these football games week after week after week.
By Delaware, and the same for the other teams traveling to Delaware, where they have a hard time to play at Delaware Stadium. It's a journey for everybody. And now we see Shea Smith in the ball game, the redshirt freshman from El Paso.
The previous play is under review for potential targeting.
Hampton will take another look. See Nate Reed, the all-time record holder for touchbacks in a career.
Maybe they're looking at a specific block.
It's
sometimes.
After review, the ruling on the field of no targeting is upheld.
well, yeah. Not sure what they were looking at there. More on Shea Smith. Season, so a lot of these second-year players are playing this year for UTEP. Smith will hand it off, and UTEP getting gobbled up. Elijah McCoy, a true freshman, going backwards.
During game day, it can throw these things off a little bit.
Smith going nowhere. The last play belonged to Merge Malumba, his second tackle for loss of the day. And third and long, though. Here comes pressure. Hit as he throws. And a flag on Myson Pollard, who's not having a good first half of football today. Got beat on the touchdown to Kenny Odom and grabbed on there, which will allow UTEP to get the first down.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both for defensive pass interference. Defense number 6 and 8. 15-yard penalty, it's automatic first down.
Don't know if everything's being communicated clearly to Rory Bernard today. He's having a tough first half as well, but the foul was on 2. You can see Myson Pollard there. Not a spot foul, but it does allow UTEP to continue their drive after a 3rd and 13. Seemingly it looked like it was going nowhere.
It kind of looked like he got his head around, but I'm good. I'm an offensive guy. That's pass interference all day.
Elijah McCoy in motion here. McCoy's second carry, a little better than his first. He'll pick up 2.
Much.
Well, Smith ran for the only score of UTEP against Texas earlier this season. And on the run now. Pumps, throws, bobbled. Did he hold on to it?
I don't know if he completed the catch there at the very end. It looked like he was bobbling it at the end. Referees are talking.
Let's take another look.
Yep, incomplete. Really good job putting the ball on the money by Shea.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. Yeah. It's second down.
Just when he falls to the ground.
3rd down and 8. Delaware leads 14-7 and brings some pressure. Pass is caught, but
Eric Willis down to the ground to trigger this 4th and 2.
It's a big 4th down here. If you don't get it and you're UTEP, you give Delaware possession in plus territory, and that offense has looked powerful so far today. Delaware bringing pressure on 4th and 2. Emery back in the ball game, but he won't get the first down. And Delaware will take over. So Ashton Emery, after leaving the game with an injury, comes back in and does not get enough. That'll send us to a timeout. Delaware football up by 7 when we return. Lofts to Wilson, who catches the football. I thought he stayed in bounds, but they'll mark him out of bounds inside the 25. Sean Wilson has been on a tear as of late.
Cardi talked about in our call this week how those 50-50 balls, the ones on the sideline, they haven't won a ton of those. It's good to see them win some. This offense, which has been so explosive, has been less explosive, however.
Both their scoring drives today, 9 plays for Delaware. On 2nd down, Ellison, hole on the right side. He hits it. It'll be 3rd down for the Hens. Inside the red zone on 3rd down. Minicucci drops the football. He does fall on it. That's been an issue for Delaware this season. They are 130th in FBS in fumbles lost. They did not lose out.
I think they may have gone for it if they got a couple yards on that third down. Given that they went backwards there, they're going to kick the field goal here.
Nate Reed on to give it a try. And that's through for Nate Reed. Last time Nate kicked on this field, it was a game winner against Louisiana Tech a few weeks ago. Delaware ineligible to make a bowl game as a first-year member of FBS. But if not enough teams get to 6 wins, they will take then more than likely Missouri State and Delaware. Missouri State already with the 6-win mark. And so Delaware fans should be rooting against any team with 5 wins today. Here's a sentence that we weren't able to say in years past for Delaware football, as Nate Reed will send it to Nick Henry. And he gets down to the 15-yard line. Delaware needs help from the Alabama Crimson Tide tonight. That's a new sentence for Delaware football fans. But Alabama 9-2 will take on an Auburn team that is 5-6. And so if Alabama, it's one of the many games that Delaware needs to go their way. But Alabama, if they can beat Auburn in that rivalry matchup tonight, it would actually benefit the Blue Hen. UTEP will stick with Shea Smith, the backup quarterback, and he'll keep it himself. Doesn't get very far. What can UTEP do to get themselves going offensively?
Because we don't think that they're going to be able to throw it all over the field, but doing this, get an extra blocker with your running back, get 3 or 4 yards every single play. And in this case, you probably don't want to be in a 3rd and 5.
Third down for the Miners. And a strip and a score for Gavin Mole.
Not sure what happened to the ball carrier. It looked like Eric Willis got the handoff going to the outside. Looks like he's trying to cut it back upfield. Just a great strip by Myson Pollard, who hadn't been having the best half so far of football he's ever played. Steps up for this UD defense in a very big way. And Gavin Mole is Johnny on the spot. Ball bounces right into his chest. Easy walk in for the turnover touchdown for this UD defense.
And Coach Carty talking to us earlier in the week. If they can win the turnover battle, he said, Delaware will be in better position to win the football game. They always are. Under Ryan Carty, Delaware 21-0 when they win the turnover margin. They are +2 today, thanks to Jamarian Caligbody's interception. And this, Gavin Mole, scoop and score. Delaware leads 24-7 in the second quarter. See some fans braving the cold weather here in Newark, Delaware. And right now the cold not bothering the home team. I don't know about the team from Texas, though, as they trailed it and just coughed one away to Gavin Mole, thanks to Myson Pollard knocking it through. Nate Reed's kickoff is waved for, and this is a Delaware team that has been waiting to take the ball away. They do not have a whole lot of turnovers gained on the year, only 10 turnovers gained. They are -8 on the year in turnover margin, but today they've taken advantage of an interception, scoring a touchdown on the opening drive, and right there, the touchdown from Gavin Mole.
Yeah, when we talked to Coach Carty about what are the important statistics, the first one he mentioned is turnovers, followed by explosive plays, first and second down plays, red zone percentage, conversions, and then third down conversion ratio as well. So obviously one of the most important statistics in football is that turnover ratio.
Tap. There he is again, blowing up this play. Locklear on the run. And you can see why this quarterback is so hard to bring down, using his legs there, getting himself out of trouble.
And manageable, the kind of realm that this UTEP minor offense wants to operate inside of.
Locklear found Wandamy Davis for a first down, but flags on the play.
Yeah, it looked like my son Pollard with a 2-point takedown there.
Scotty Walden in his second season with UTEP, 5-19 at UTEP, 39-38 as a head coach overall.
Defense, number 2. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, first down.
It's Myson Pollard again. Pollard, the senior from Norwalk, Connecticut, had 2 interceptions in the game on the road against FIU earlier this season. A couple penalties, got beat for a touchdown, but also knocked the ball loose, so play a go.
We called that FIU game. Delaware won that FIU. We just have to call more away games. That's what's going on.
I think that's the combo.
That's the key, to get some away wins.
That was the lone road victory
That's
for
right.
Delaware this UConn, and then at the time, a huge win against FIU. It's still a bowl-eligible team. There's a flag on this play as Locklear runs, but Delaware kind of shut down the preseason Offensive Player of the Year at that point.
Holding, offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty, it's second down. Timeout, UTEP, their first, 30 seconds.
Points heading into the fourth quarter of these games. They've been battling, just have not been able to win these ball games, and now Coach Walden talking with his quarterback, Skylar Locklear.
And it's because they can run the ball so well. They can just control the clock, keep the opposing team's offense off of the field.
After the timeout, it looked like Locklear
In that throwaway right there, trying not to take a hit. It's a shame on that second and long. You're trying to get a couple of yards back to get maybe in front of the sticks a little bit, get you to a third and manageable. Now you're in this 3rd and 19. I think screen draw, something short.
Locklear, there is a flag, so whatever he does, likely coming back. It was in direction of holding. UTEP back.
Personal foul, hands to the face, offense, number 69. That penalty is declined, it's fourth down.
Jake Thal back to return. Noah Botsford is the punter for UTEP. He's a skilled one. Thal pointing at it. And it'll be down inside the 20 for Noah Botsford. That's his 17th punt this season inside the 20. The junior from Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Couple plays on the sideline, which we haven't seen as much of this year, which is good to see if you're a UD offensive fan.
Minicucci on the run. And giving chase was Tyler Scott. Minicucci has to
continue to see this UD team moving up and down the field.
Minicucci, sideline. And good coverage that time. Knocked away. I think perhaps Delaware fans waiting for a flag that did not come.
The exotic blitz, you see a safety run all over the field.
Minicucci on the run. He's got some room, showing speed. First down pickup.
The short
or just shy.
Minicucci on the carry.
Minicucci just short of that first down to gain.
Timeout, Delaware, their first, 30 seconds.
They're looking at the spot. I think that's why they called the timeout to take a look at it. Nick Minicucci, though, 4th in passing yards in FBS. Mentioned 3rd in pass attempt, 8th in total offense, 17th in points responsible for, and another rushing touchdown. You know, to throw for 20 touchdowns and run for 10
After
is
review,
remarkable.
the ruling on the field of the runner being short of the line of gain is upheld. Delaware has charged their first timeout.
I just don't know if we had a good look at that. It's kind of a tough camera angle to be able to see if he got there or not. Again, you got a couple referees right there on the sideline. I think the spot was good.
Had some close calls on 4th down and now 3rd down in this game so far for Delaware. Delaware a turnover on downs earlier in the contest from Byron Ellison. A couple of inches, and now a 4th down and 2 call. They didn't change the spot either on the review. So Brendan Locke will come out, kick this one away. The graduate transfer from Michigan Tech, 38 punts on the season, just under 40 yards per punt. And just barely gets this one away. Brandon Raymond trying to add some movement to that football and downs it inside the 30. 49 of those yards coming on a touchdown toss to Kenny Odom.
Good job identifying there. That feels like an RPO step minor offense.
That's what you're saying. Just to get 4 or 5 yards on first down. Stay ahead if you're UTEP. Pump and go. He has a man. And running ahead of the pack is Josh Schutz for another huge UTEP score. A 64-yard strike. This is after UTEP scored on a 49-yard touchdown in the first quarter. The extra point is through,
but they're able to hang in by just getting a couple of those explosives throughout the game.
Now Raymond, we were just talking about him on special teams. He'll return this kick. And a leap gets him past the 35. And kickoff return yardage, whether that's Pollard or Raymond there, Jakari Kelly, who's out for today's ball game, all done a good job of returning kicks for Delaware. Students are older players, and Ellison a transfer, but only a sophomore. He's a young guy, and he's played very well for Delaware down the stretch of this season. Very promising for next year with the Hens.
We mentioned Joe. Gives the coaches some time to kind of get some confidence in the player, too.
Pass is deflected, and somehow it still reaches Jake Thal for a first down. 9 receivers have caught passes for Delaware in this one as Ellison tries to break it to the outside. At least 8 different players have caught passes now in 10 of 12 games on the year for Delaware.
Well, when you throw it 50 times a game,
doesn't mean you're bringing in different guys, though. Minicucci, middle of the field is open. And staying on his feet is Kyrie Duplessis. Just shy of a score.
We talked about they've had struggles on the outside. They've done a great job with these in-cutter. You see like a double slant, double post type concept. Duplessis on the outside makes the catch and does an unbelievable job staying on his feet, breaking some tackles, getting up the sideline. You can see that 12.8 yard average per catch. He's done a lot of damage throughout the course of the season to add on to the 5 touchdowns that he also has. Now we'll see this UD red zone offense as well.
Minicucci gives to Joe Silver, back like he left something. Missed the last 2 with injury and now finds his way into the end zone.
KD Johnson in the backfield that time leads the UTEP defense in tackles for loss. Is not able to bring down Joe Silver in the backfield that time, and once Joe got past KD Johnson, there was no one left. You see he's able to just give him a little bit of a stiff arm. Keep those feet turning so he can get into the end zone.
That is 31 first half points for the Delaware Blue Hens. Under Ryan Carty, the Hens are 23-1 when scoring 30 or more in a game. Their only loss came this season at Liberty. And now 31 in the first half. Remarkable for a Delaware team looking to finish the season strong, get to 6 wins, and then scoreboard watch the rest of the day.
Right.
Looking for some help around the country. UTEP waves for it, and so they'll get a play in before the 2-minute timeout.
Second half, extremely important. UTEP got a score. Delaware came back, scored right away. How do you respond is a big question. Big sack there by this Delaware defense.
What a way to send it to the 2-minute timeout. You had a sack before that. You had a touchdown from Joe Silver, Delaware, in control in the first half. The Delaware native Noah Matthews with his first full sack of the season.
Yeah, Delaware native, went to Kentucky, played there the last 3 seasons, comes to Delaware. His first full sack of the season. You know he has to be excited.
Pass bobbled and incomplete, and that stops the clock on 3rd down and 16. Delaware with 2 timeouts remaining, and if you're UTEP, you're not in a good position now because you could get this ball back to Delaware with plenty of time to add to their total.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to maybe pooch punt it here. You can't imagine they're going to go for it. Oh, they got him to jump.
Delaware moved on 3rd and 16. Ball comes loose. Delaware got to it.
You get a free play. You don't want to see that happen. Your quarterback gets his arm pulled on a little bit. You hope Skylar Locklear is
Offside.
okay.
Defense, number 93. 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
You got exactly what you wanted. You do the hard count.
Remarkable amount of times that he's laced him up for UD. Still 3rd down and 11 after the penalty. Locklear rolling, pointing, throwing, Pollard intercepting.
For Delaware.
What a way to stay in bounds. Myson Pollard, a forced fumble and an interception in the 2nd quarter here from Newark.
We talked about how Myson was being picked on a little bit earlier in this half. He's done an unbelievable job with that fumble and now going up and high high pointing this ball. Doing a great job getting it into his stomach and completing that catch, going to the ground. Again, the takeovers that we talked about early on, this Delaware defense continues to take the ball away. Delaware offense has to continue to hold on to the ball and not turn it over on their side. Keep on moving the ball up and down. Now they have 1:30 left. 2 timeouts, plenty of time if you're this Delaware offense. No need to rush.
Minicucci with 92 seconds. Throws high, nearly gave it right back. Spiller and LeBoy in the area. He could have had an interception right back for the Miners. Instead, second down for Delaware. Minicucci under duress, lofts it a little too wide for Sean Wilson to hold on to. Wilson leading receiver.
A little bit of a lob. You see the flags going here. They were ripping a little bit earlier today. But it looks like if he's throwing it that way to the sideline, probably right into the teeth of that wind.
Pressure coming again for Minicucci. And he has to throw on the run low to Wilson.
Get the feet off count a little bit. Leads to a little bit of an off throw.
Nick Henry has some space on the return, running wide and chopped down at the 40-yard line.
If they can do something quick, they can obviously go after the end zone, but first objective here is to get that 30 yards and set up for a field goal.
Locklear, play action, being chased by Bronya, and he avoids Gavin Mole to go out of bounds and stop the clock at 57 seconds. Locklear.
First play to be a positive play. You picked up some yards there. Get the offense going in the right direction. Try to get something a little bit more on this snap.
Locklear again lofting deep and connecting. For the 3rd time today, UTEP with an X-play through the air, and now UTEP's in position to score before heading into the locker room.
Skylar Locklear doing a great job throwing the ball to the outside today.
Allen went for 35 yards, so throws of
yardage. You still have 45 seconds, 2 timeouts. You're thinking touchdown, check down right here.
Ashton Emery had the big stats a week ago. Gets inside the red zone, and a timeout will be taken by Scotty Walden with 38 seconds left.
A little bit better here at the end of this first half and into the second.
On 3rd down, it's Locklear. Chopping his feet. Now Tuckett. They'll look to run for it. Stays in bounds, but does pick up enough to stop the clock momentarily. And a fresh set of downs for UTEP.
So the clock will stop.
Yeah. Locklear stumbles, though. You don't want that. It was Trace Scott who grabbed him.
Now you're going to get up here and you're going to run another play. You got 25 seconds left, so you're going to hurry. Sack there.
1 timeout left for UTEP. End zone. And that's a flag. Nate Evans grabbing on for dear life against Wanda Mae Davis.
Ball was inside there. Did not need to grab him, but Nate felt that he was a little bit lost out there. Obviously a lot of space in that part of the end zone, and just held on and going to get called for PI here.
Ball will be placed at the 2-yard line, automatic first down.
So you still have 1 timeout here. You have 9 seconds left. They're a running football team. I would not be surprised if UTEP takes a run on first down. You obviously want to try to get down quick. Then maybe you take a shot on second down, because if you get stopped on first down with a run, you can call a quick timeout.
Josh Schutz in the backfield. So is Ashton Emery. Locklear will keep it himself, though, and throw on first down. And it's a touchdown for UTEP.
Impact of explosives, right? It's amazing how it can shape the game the way it does. And when you look back on their half, yep, they're going to run it.
Going for 2 here. Not close there.
I will make the argument that if you want to go for 2, put your offense out there and don't get cute. But hey, that's why they pay these coaches the big bucks.
That's right. Scotty Walden, the head man, coming over from Austin Peay, where he led the Governors to a 9-3 record in the FCS playoffs in 2023, where he lost to Chattanooga in the playoffs, and one of the younger coaches in the country. Skip kick, bobbled, and Delaware will be able to come out either
yards on offense. Obviously, they'd be happy with that. But I think they have some things they want to clean up on defense here, taking it into the second half.
He has a rushing touchdown. He's tossed one as well, and 27 on the bottom of your screen. Joe Silver has a rushing touchdown for Delaware. But UTEP scoring at the end of the first half to make this one a bit closer. That's how we got started with Nick Minicucci into the end zone. Skylar Locklear had an answer, and we'll see who will have more answers in the second half. 31-20 at the break on ESPN+. At the half of Delaware Stadium, the Blue Hens lead 31-20. I'm Scott Klatzkin alongside Pat Devlin. And Pat, Delaware led by as many as 17 in the first half, but like UTEP does in each game this season, they continue to battle back.
Absolutely. If you're this Delaware offense, you want to continue to do exactly what you did this first half. If you're the Delaware defense, all you want to do is stop the explosives. You've done a really good job stopping the running game, but it's all about the explosives. If you're this UTEP offense, they need to find ways to continue to create these one-on-ones on the outside. And then Skylar Locklear, if he continues to put the ball on the money on these long throws, UTEP's going to be able to hang in this game.
This Delaware offense has looked unstoppable at times. What do they need to do in the second half to put some separation between these two teams?
Yeah, I think for the Delaware offense, if they put up another 31 in the second half, they're going to be very happy with that performance. On the defense, they need to find ways, maybe back off a little bit. If their corners feel like they can't stick with these UTEP wide receivers, maybe they back off a little bit and continue doing what they've been doing up front to stop this vaunted UTEP rush game. All
right, well, we are at the break in Newark, Delaware. We'll take another timeout. When we come back, we'll have first half stats and look at some first half highlights here on ESPN+. Welcome back into Delaware Stadium. Let's take a look at the first half stats brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 313, and the National Electrical Contractors Association. Together, we power Delaware.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at these stats, 250 yards of offense for Delaware, 200 for UTEP. It's been a great offensive battle. You look at third downs coming into the game. Coach Carty talked about how they have not been as good on third downs as they've wanted to be, and that's continued to be true here. If there's one thing they could point to of wanting to be better on, it's probably that third down conversion ratio. A couple tackles, 51 points in this first half.
And Brandon Raymond was sprinting like he wanted to add more immediately to that, but he lost control of the football late. Ball popped loose, and UTEP got it.
All right, so you were looking at me when I was making this comment in the first half about when you jump over someone, it is very tough to hang on to that ball, and look what happens here. Raymond doing a great job. Explosive again, but he goes to jump. Oh, and that ball comes out because you're, for whatever reason, the elbow, you get the little turkey wing coming out of Thanksgiving here.
Well, was going to try to add on to their 11-point lead, and now UTEP instead with the takeaway. A sidearm toss to Odom to get, whereas Delaware spreads it around. Kenny Odom gets the bulk of catches for this Miners team.
And you can see they're manufacturing ways for him to get the ball, right? Early on, that inside zone straight at you. UTEP now running someone on late. Looks like Jalen Brown coming on. Skylar Locklear changing up the play, changing the formation a little bit. 3 seconds on the game clock.
And now a delay of game. A lot happening on that play. Some substitutions. You saw the referee, Rory Bernard, who you're hearing from now.
5-yard penalty, third down.
He physically got in front of the quarterback.
Yeah.
Prior to the snap.
You have to allow the defense the opportunity to sub. And so that ref is going to look at the head referee and say, when am I allowed to go? And make sure everyone's good. He gets out of the way. They snap it as quickly as they can. but it's just a matter of they ran someone on late, and that's what caused the chaos in general. And you go from a 3rd and 9 to a 3rd and 14, and it's only 5 yards, but it makes a big difference, especially when you're a team like UTEP.
Rockler on 3rd down, backpedaling, being chased, and just has to dump it off. As multiple black jerseys.
Incomplete pass. It's 4th down.
They've seen everything. And you wonder if this is a pooch punt situation here. They're going to try to draw them off sides.
Malachi Nelson has actually done that twice as a quarterback for UTEP this season. And you see Manny Rojas, he was kicking, making a kicking gesture to Delaware. Perfectly executed. Manny Rojas on the sideline making the gesture of watch for that pooch punt. And that's exactly what happened. Delaware going to be pinned back at their 1-yard line when we come back. A turnover for Delaware, but it doesn't cost them anything. They'll have 99 yards to go when we return.
Then the goal is 2 first downs coming out of a backed up situation like this.
And Ellison, did he get out of the end zone?
Barely.
Just enough.
And that's why
Delaware's got to get some space. As you said, Pat, nearly a safety on the first snap after the pooch punt. And Minicucci, he's so good at just putting his shoulders down, putting his head down, and picking up a few yards.
Yeah, and you see he doesn't get hit distance to be able to stand in the back of the end zone and punt the ball away as well. So good execution on that 2nd down play.
They're looking for 7, and they'll get it. Sean Wilson on the far side of the field. There's some space if you're Delaware. There is a flag, though, and it might be coming back.
Ineligible player downfield. Offense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. It's 3rd down.
That's a 6th against Delaware.
Yeah, that's a lot of penalties for Delaware. We'll see who's getting downfield here. Yeah, they're just run blocking, right? So you wonder if that was an RPO concept and he was able to hand the ball off if he counted the numbers and the numbers told him to do so. But obviously in a pass play, you're not allowed to send your offensive lineman downfield, even when you're running a bootleg. So that gets to the discipline of this Delaware team. And last couple weeks, we've seen a couple games where they have had more penalties than they had earlier in the year.
From the 2-yard line, Minicucci looking for a flag, gets one.
Flag on the play.
It's going to be T.J. Tillman, true freshman from
Pass
Amarillo,
interference.
Texas.
Defense, number 13. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Yeah, T.J. Tillman holding on a little bit there, some hand fighting. Looked like that ball was a little bit long by Minicucci. But still, you just see the jersey pull, little hand fighting. You're going to get that call a lot of times. Good job putting the ball out there in the field of play to give your guy a chance. And worst, second best option, I guess, is to get that penalty.
And Tillman, he's been playing more recently. All of his tackles have come over the last 2 games. Only a freshman. Big tackle there, though, from Coach.
On this play, you don't need to get a 1st down, get it all back here.
Here's Nick. Like you said, just trying to get a chunk. Jake Ball, the sure-handed senior, gets him past the 20.
Yep, now let's see what this UTEP defense does here. This is identified to be able to pick up this crazy look that UTEP is about to give them.
Delaware just 1 of 7 on 3rd down against the 5th best 3rd down defense in the country. The other 4 teams, Texas A&M, Indiana, Virginia, and Ohio State. On 3rd down here, Fall catches the ball but doesn't get to the stick. And punt this one back to UTEP. Henry fields it cleanly. Down he goes. Dropped immediately as McKinley Daniels in on the tackle. That'll send us to a timeout, but watch this one more time. Giving it all on special teams. Some historic rivals out west. This is the final Conference USA game for UTEP. And trying to And on a high note is Torek over to shove him out.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 35. 15-yard penalty is added to the end of the run. It's first down.
And what a journey. USA look for more success heading to the Mountain West. Delaware's penalties helping UTEP find some success. 15-yard variety that time on the face mask. But then Gavin Mole, who has a touchdown earlier today, comes right in and makes the tackle after a good call for Locklear steps up. It's Odom again. Matthews trying to track him down. Cannot. Odom stays in bounds and gets all the way down to the 15. Kenny Odom with a nice run after catch.
And again, finding ways to get Kenny Odom the ball. You see him, he's lined up in the backfield this time, slips out on kind of a bootleg look. And you can just see the speed of Kenny Odom and why they try to get him the ball as much as they can.
A sidearm toss as UTEP continues to move quickly. And inside the 5, it's Josh Schutz. So UTEP feeling confident on this drive offensively. They are moving with tempo. First and goal from the 5. Emery gets back to the line of scrimmage.
And again, this Delaware defense doing a pretty good job against the runs, but it's those passes off of the run game that are really giving this Delaware defense trouble.
Because the 181 put up by Emery a week ago, but it's been Locklear with 3 passing touchdowns. And now the play blown dead before second and goal.
False start, offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty, it's second down.
That's a penalty that really hurts you if you're UTEP. You're second and goal on the 5-yard line. That's going to move you back to the 10, but you got a lot. You can probably give it 3 shots into the end zone from there on the ground if you want to do it that way. They've obviously had a lot of success passing the ball as well. But now you're 10 yards away from the end zone. You're not exactly now in a run-it-only type of setup here. So again, it gets back to that discipline of UTEP that they were having trouble with most of the season.
Emery running diagonally, brought down for no gain, maybe a loss of 1. Keyshawn Hunter in the mix. So was Colin Gallagher.
For this offense, you see the running back Ashton Emery starting on the outside. That's a man zone indicator. You know that Delaware's playing zone here.
Flag thrown. Ball thrown and out of bounds. And it's going to go against UTEP. Roy Bernard.
Illegal formation,
with Jack
offense. That penalty's declined. Result of the play is third down.
I think it's fourth down. 8 is his long. This is going to be from 29. Noah Bonsford will hold. And we've got ourselves a 1-score game. 31-23 as the last 2 scores belong to the UTEP Miners on the road here in Newark. We got a tarps off situation here at Delaware Stadium. They're braver than I am.
I was going to say, it looks just like the booth. What do you mean?
It's a live look at the booth here. No, I will say we have not had jackets on during the broadcast. That says something. Those guys have nothing on though, at least up top.
I'm proud of us. We left the window open today.
That's true.
We're tough football guys,
cold.
aren't we?
Talking to Coach Carty earlier in the week, he said, I wish it was a little bit colder.
Right.
Because not that he likes the cold weather, but these guys are coming from Texas where it's 70 degrees out on campus at UTEP. But unbothered, at least on offense, UTEP, they put up nearly 250 yards of offense, and they've scored a touchdown, a field goal to make this game a bit closer. It's only a 1-score game. Delaware scored 31 points.
And they obviously want to get on track here and try to put some points on the board because the momentum is strongly on the UTEP side of the ball now.
Manakuchi changing directions, finds Kyrie Duplessis with some running room, and I like that play design from Ryan Carty.
Wow, there was a wall of Delaware offensive linemen out there. And a good job by that UTEP defender to take on all four and really usher Duplessis out to the sideline. Let's see if we can get a number on that. That is an unbelievable play on defense to get him out of bounds by Solo Barnes.
Direct snap, and now a handoff to Nick Minicucci. Ryan Carty getting creative. Minicucci bombing it to Jake Thaw, who's under it, spinning, staying up. What a score by Delaware!
The creativity that you've seen from this offense all year long. I'm not sure you've seen anything that creative with Minicucci playing the running back position, we'll call it, starting in the slot, coming in motion. Long developing play as Thaw comes from the right side of the field, sneaks across to the left, and then tries to go up the sideline. Minicucci doing a little whirly bird, throwing that ball about 50 yards in the air. Jake Thaw doing a great job breaking a tackle, getting his way into the end zone. Those are the explosives that Coach Carty really wants to get going in this offense, and doing a great job of manufacturing an explosive there.
So Delaware answers, as you said, Pat, with an X-play of their own. And let's watch it again.
Ellison takes the handoff, Minicucci gets it, and then whirls around, does a half boot, looks back the other way. All that is meant just to give enough time for the defense to flow all the way to the right. Jake Thaw's got to take his time, working his way across the field, and then he took it vertical. And all of that, it's like a dance, having all those moving pieces at the right tempo, the right time. You know, it takes some time. You see Carty smirking on the sidelines. That's probably one of those that they've been practicing since spring, and it probably hasn't worked against their own defense for probably about 8 weeks. But they finally pull it out against a new opponent. Good execution all around. Sometimes it's tough. You have the running back calling the snap. You got to make sure that's all timed up. But it all worked out for that Delaware offense on that play.
Love to see the smile on Coach Carty's face. He is so creative. He's such a good play caller. And what a dynamic offense he has here at Delaware. Second in Conference USA and year number one, over 400 yards per game on the year. That pass got him up to 329. And more importantly, it made it a two-score game once again. Good return here for UTEP. Out to the 40-yard line. Nick Minicucci would make him the single-season record holder for passing yards per game in Delaware history. Flea flicker, Locklear. Almost had another one. For UTEP, was the most fun play to call in Tecmo Super Bowl back in the day on Nintendo.
Oh boy.
And an interception. Another takeaway for the Delaware defense. This time it's Nate Evans on senior day. He gets a pick.
Yeah, it's one of those you look up at the flag and you wonder if the wind had something to do with that one. Certainly got away from Skylar Locklear. That's one of those inside hitch routes that's probably a run play, and you just think to yourself, I have access there to Kenny Odom, a guy who we've been trying to target all day, and ball just slips out of the hand or goes a little bit high, and Nate Evans is there to step under it. And another turnover for this Delaware defense, putting this Delaware offense in the opportunity to have another drive that starts on the other side of the field for them.
And if you're Manny Rojas, who's down on the field, you're thrilled at all the takeaways. Joe Silver gonna bust this one open inside the 10, puts Delaware in position.
And there's an X play in the run game. Again, they've had some throughout the course of the year, but Coach Carty talks about wanting more. You have a sudden change situation where you get the interception, the momentum, and the energy is high. You want to have something like that where you can hand the ball off in an inside zone, break it to a 30-plus yard gain to get you into the red zone. And now we see some more Carty creativity here as they line up inside the 10.
Minicucci, one rushing touchdown. Not that time.
This is the last game of the season. You want to have these things, right, where you're moving the ball on offense, you're turning the ball over on defense. Those kind of things are really important to take into the offseason.
And Akuchi gets it closer to the 5.
See if they do anything special here.
Joe Silver got him there. He won't get into the end zone for the second time today. We'll see if I was right or if Nate Reed all season long. Bitko will snap, Locke will hold, Reed will send that one into the parking lot. Delaware leads now 41-23. Couple of scores after UTEP got within 8.
Kansas State beat Colorado, which is unfavorable to Delaware's chances. And then it looks like BYU is going to pull out a win versus UCF, which would be favorable. So you got 3 out of 6 going in Delaware's way so far.
Yeah, Delaware needs 6 of the 11 games that include 5-win teams to go their way. And off to a good start. Colorado, after all Delaware did for them in the beginning of the season, couldn't help out the Hens at the end of the year. But it looks like Kentucky will fall short of 6, so will Baylor, and so will UCF. And Delaware, a ways to go, but they've built a lead back up here in the third quarter as UTEP scored on a field goal on a touchdown, to end the second quarter, and then to start
some points. Obviously, it helps when UTEP turns the ball over. UTEP just now in the mode. It feels like it in offense.
6 catches on the day for Odom. And now Wandemi Davis with some speed after the spin, little hesitation, and another X play for UTEP.
That's exactly what we talked about, those explosive plays. They ran up in the same formation twice in a row. The first time they threw it out to Kenny Odom on a little screen. They're just 4-by-1.
A 68-yard score. Locklear has a man free. They convert this time on the 2-point try. And UTEP has been the case all year long, just will not go away. Jalen Brown with the... And Delaware continues to struggle with allowing huge plays defensively. Here's Brandon Raymond, who coughed the ball up on a return to start the third quarter, holds on to it this time and gets out to the 30-yard line. And you, again, put the pressure on the offense. To the near side, Sean Wilson, another grab.
Out there, it's something like one of the first things I learned about playing quarterback. When you see access, just throw it out there in space. Good things can happen.
Good defense that time, knocking away. That was... on the ground this time. It's Ellison. Stiff arm gives him a couple extra yards inside the 40.
Byron Ellison just picking his way through this defense and then doing a great job finishing that run, like you mentioned, Scott, doing a little stiff arm at the end there to get a couple extra yards. And it looks like they'll take this down into the fourth quarter.
That's the end of the third quarter.
Delaware up by 10, looking for win number 6. And we've got 15 minutes left to go from Delaware Stadium. Blue Hens fans bundled up. They're hoping their squad can wrap up their 6th win of the season as we head into the fourth quarter of action with Byron Ellison making it to the 36-yard line.
Much about avoiding third down. They've been able to do that.
Minicucci stumbles. Trying to put his foot in the turf and cut. Here's another third down. And nearly an interception. In third down defense, the number 3 team in the college football playoffs, the number 2 team, number 18 team, and number 1 team go 1 through 4. And then you have UTEP, who's 2-9. Locke trying to place this one inside the 10. We'll see it where they mark it. It'll be at the 10-yard line. And so when we come back, UTEP with a chance to get even closer here in the fourth. This is next season for Delaware. A couple games on the schedule. Vanderbilt, big season for them. Delaware will head to Tennessee next season. The Hens hoping, though, that perhaps they have one more game in them for 2025. Getting the 6 wins today would perhaps allow for a waiver to play in a bowl game later on this season. But UTEP trying to not allow Delaware to get that 6th win. They have been fighting, and a recent touchdown of 68 yards last time that UTEP had the ball has made this just a 10-point lead for the Hens. Locklear, he's thrown 4 touchdowns in this ball game. Also 3 interceptions, though.
Yeah, that's the explosives.
Number 32, blow to the helmet. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Roughing the passer, just a blow to the helmet. That's just one of those tough plays. It's an effort foul. Coach Carty talked about having a couple of those effort-type penalties. Goes against Delaware.
It's their 8th penalty against Delaware. Verge Malumba was called for the penalty there. Delaware averaged about 4
free first downs when you're putting yourself behind the chains.
Odom with a nice snag. Runs into Keyshawn Hunter, though, as Odom gets catch number 6 on the pressure coming on Locklear. Noah Matthews, James Yelbert combined for a huge 3rd down stop.
You see Noah Matthews and James Yelbert just coming around the outside here. Yelbert doing a great job with the speed rush. You know, Skylar Locklear could feel that pressure. Instead of stepping up, tried to step to the right. Noah Matthews is right there to pick up a pretty easy sack.
Second time Noah Matthews has gotten the quarterback today. First one for James Yelbert. And Jake Thal has a 51-yard touchdown on the day, back to return a punt. He gets out of the way of it. And UTEP will, or Delaware, will look to add on to his total on this drive here in the 4th quarter. And Duplessis helps him out. Getting a first down grab across the 45-yard line. Joe Flacco holds the record with 4,263 yards back at 2007. You know, earlier this season, Nick Minicucci threw for 422 yards at Jacksonville State. He was the first Blue Hens quarterback to throw for 400 yards in a game since a guy named Pat Devlin did it.
How about
in
it?
2009.
How about it?
Remember that ball game?
Nova?
Against Nova?
That Nova, yeah.
Threw 407 yards in that game. Not bad.
Did we win?
I didn't write that part down. didn't put that in the notes. You know, Delaware won by the Blue Hens. Delaware hasn't won their regular season finale at all since 2015 at Elam. Minicucci trying to change that. Oh, can't reach it.
Yeah, Minicucci's had a really good. You wonder if Coach Carty's thinking get the first down or maybe take a shot down the field.
3rd down and 2. Delaware 1 of 10 on 3rd down. 2 of 11 as Kyrie Duplessis gets Delaware inside the red zone.
Great job by this offensive line. You never know what's going to come on 3rd down when you're playing against this UTEP defense. They don't bring any crazy pressure. The offensive line picks it up well. Nick Minicucci throwing a strike.
Now Scott Moore will go in motion for Minicucci with a fresh set of downs. And it's Byron Ellison. Good to see Katie Johnson back in the ballgame. He left earlier. He makes the stop there. Certainly for UTEP, they have been unable to sustain drives. All their scores have come quickly. Donovan Lewis with a grab. Delaware inside the 10 now. The time of possession difference in this ball game
led to some of that short duration as far as time of possession goes, but overall a great offensive matchup.
Nick Minicucci sends Lewis in motion. End zone. And Kyrie Duplessis got tangled with TJ Tillman.
It didn't look like Duplessis was calling for a penalty there. That's one of those was thrown maybe a little bit too far to the inside.
Here's Minicucci. End zone. Touchdown. Season high in points for the Delaware Blue Hens.
Talk about the creativity of this offense in the red zone. They just have a mesh concept where you have a couple guys running under routes from one side of the field to the other. And you'll see a man on the ground, Cody Lowe there. He actually ran into his own defender, which enabled Jake Thaw, who was coming across the field, to be wide open. Easy pitch and catch for Nick Minicucci, putting another touchdown on the board. Delaware offense.
And a 2-touchdown day for Jake Thaw. Reed's had a busy day with PATs. He hasn't missed, and Jake Thaw on senior day gets into the end zone twice. We're happy for Jake Thaw, who's a leader on and off the field. He got banged up earlier this season. Stalled his senior campaign a bit. Only 11 catches over the last 6 games that he's played, but 5 catches today for 72 yards, 2 touchdowns, and doesn't get better than Jake off the field as well, as he was nominated for the Jason
National Championship, playing here, getting a lot of receptions, not getting a lot of targets, being injured. And then showing up big today is just a testament to all the work.
We're in this ball game where you're starting to feel a little comfortable, and then very quickly Skylar Locklear is able to shoot one out.
Bit of a different game than they have the rest of the season.
It's like Jake Riggs is going to come in, and Locklear.
It's a tush push.
Yeah,
It's the tush
I didn't know if offense to give a shove to his
Jack
quarterback.
Hall has no shoe.
Locklear finds shoots. Is that what that item was?
The booth. Maybe we can get a camera on him during the game. We'll talk to the production group.
I don't know if anyone will watch our broadcast if they had a live stream of Manny Rojas during the game going on. Underhanded pitch. Getting creative. Skylar Locklear finds Ashton Emery. He hasn't been able to get it going very much today for UTEP. Locklear has. There's Willis. He's got a touchdown
to watch.
Locklear backpedaling on the run. And just good coverage by Delaware that time. Now movement. Everybody with everybody else.
False start. Offense. Number 23. 5-yard penalty. It's third down.
That was Wandami Davis.
Are really, really difficult for any team to overcome.
Here we go again.
Prior to the snap. Timeout, UTEP. Their first. 30-second timeout.
Scotty Walden not happy over there. I'm not sure if there was a miscommunication on alignment, assignment, maybe a personnel issue.
If you're the UTEP offense, at the very least, you've done just that. You've thrown for over 100 more yards than you average per game this season, and Skylar Locklear has looked sharp.
Just so surprising to only have 51 yards rushing after that performance that they put on last week. Testament to this Delaware offensive line in front seven.
Locklear had not thrown for over 250 yards in a game this season. He's up over 300 today. Here's Emery making fourth down a little easier. Wouldn't be able to tell you, but I guarantee you, I don't want to guarantee you, but probably not half of them. It's an ever-changing landscape. On 4th and 3, UTEP in trouble. Locklear, elusive. Locklear's 4th interception. And my son Pollard's 2nd. Twice this season, number 2 with 2 interceptions in a game.
Plus a forced fumble going over and ringing the bell. Locklear with just a great job in the pocket, moving around, avoiding Yelbert. And you can see that just closed up quickly. Laid across the middle is tough when you have a lot of defenders flying around. Great job by Myson Pollard. Staying in his zone, reading the quarterback's eyes, stepping in front of that one and making another interception. And for as good as Locklear has played today and as many explosives as he's had, he's probably had the same amount of interceptions, and like we've already talked about, turnovers are such an important part of this game. It makes such a big difference in being able to keep the momentum on your side and keep the scoreboard on your side as well.
4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions on the day for Skylar Locklear. And Delaware on their way, so it seems, to win number 6. And whether that gets them a bowl game or not, Pat, it is impressive to move from FCS to FBS and win 6 football games.
Yeah, but like we talked about in the open, it's about where this program is headed under Ryan Carty, and it says a lot to become bowl eligible and win games in your house, right? That's a big part of this as well. You get to finish strong, and hopefully that carries on into recruiting if you're this coaching staff as well.
Spiller trying to end this one with an exclamation mark all the way in.
Greg Spiller, 20 attempts coming into this game, a long of 12 yards. Another thing that these late in the season games are for. Get a couple of your guys who have not gotten as many steps, some reps, get them some film. And now Spiller doing a good job breaking through some arm tackles, cutting it back across the green, and then a little bit of speed to be able to outrun some DBs into the end zone. And like you said, a great exclamation point for this offense that has put up some incredible numbers from a yards and points perspective here today against UTEP.
A double nickel on the scoreboard for Delaware. The last time Delaware put 50 up was back in 2023 against Towson. How about this for your first career touchdown? Greg Spiller, a redshirt freshman from Ashburn, Virginia. Playing time increased over the last 2 weeks with Joe Silver out. Campaign and takes that one to the house.
All right, so UT San Antonio is up 10-0 over Army. So that's a favorable outcome for Delaware if it stays in that direction.
Who needs a score bug when we've got Pat Devlin reading off scores
Scrolling
from his
ESPN
cell phone.
app.
It's been a fun one, that's for sure. Here at Delaware, as Skylar Locklear continues to throw. Locklear took over recruiting-wise in the class of 2023. He was above Arch Manning. He went to Oklahoma to join Lincoln Riley. Then Lincoln Riley went to USC. Threw 9 interceptions early on in the season.
How hard is recruiting?
Yeah. Obviously, very.
I'm assessing, someone who's in high school. Obviously, everyone has a lot of room to grow there, but 5-star quarterback to that, it's shocking.
And he did have it in Skylar Locklear here at UTEP, and maybe 3rd on the depth chart behind Shea Smith. What a day for James Yelbert. And whatever that dance is, we've seen a lot of it this afternoon.
Just the speed. We've seen it a couple times. He's just right around whoever it is. You do not want a tight end blocking a good, obviously not the case there. And Yelbert just going right around that tight end.
Yelbert up the road, from up the road in Wilmington, Delaware. Delaware native playing on his senior day. There was some confusion.
Be playing football for 8 years.
That's right. JUCO waivers, we'll see what happens with that. Whole new ball game. But those seniors that were honored today really brought it. And another interception! The 5th INT of the day, thrown by Skylar Locklear, and it's Nasir Eatman, the 2nd straight week the freshman has taken it away.
Good job by Locklear moving around in the pocket, but just throws it directly into the chest of Nasir Eastman there. Mention another interception. 5 on the day now for Skylar Locklear.
And Delaware in position to add on. They'll take this one down to the 2-minute.
Yeah, it looks like Scotty Walden is going to take a timeout here. Try to elongate the game a little bit.
Please reset the game clock to 2 minutes, 22 seconds. 2:22. Thank you.
10 takeaways all season long. 6 today, 6 of them. Saving their best for last in that category. Minicucci tossing. That's Scott Moore, who got in the end zone earlier today. And Scott Walden says, why not? Call another one, down 55-31.
Timeout, UTEP. Their 3rd and final timeout of the half. Please reset the game clock to 2 minutes, 15 seconds. 2:15.
As well. 3rd down and 6. And Nick fires end zone, batted away by Dante Thompson. Thompson had 17 pass breakups in 2022 at Incarnate Word. He's got a couple today of 20 yards. He's also made from 37. This will be for his 15th make of the year from 32 this time. And Nate Reed adds 3 to the total. 58-31 is the count here in Newark. And Delaware doing a nice job of finally putting UTEP away. As again, Delaware, it never felt like Delaware was in jeopardy of losing the ball game the way that they were playing, but the game at times was tighter than you thought it would be.
Yeah, they got it back down to what, 7 or 8 a couple times today. It's been up and down the field, and it's been a lot of fun.
A couple more touchdowns. We're going to start needing a calculator out here, that's for sure. Most points scored under Ryan Carty in a game as the head coach of the Blue Hens. And that's saying a lot because they put up digits. Yep. Ryan Carty's offense are profound and still playing for a lot today. They'll get to 6 wins and they'll scoreboard watch the rest of the day, hoping that not enough teams get to 6, and Delaware could get invited to a bowl game in their first year of FBS football. That'll bring us to the 2-minute timeout. Spiller gave Delaware the big lead. Double nickel. Reed put on 3 more, and the Hens running away with this one. The Delaware Blue Hens 2 minutes away from their 6th win of the season, evening up their overall record and record in Conference USA. Pretty impressive stuff, year 1 in FBS. Locklear thinks twice about forcing something, as he's already thrown 5 interceptions on the game.
But up and downs throughout the course of the season, but overall, great learning experience for, I'm sure, the whole program and all the new that comes along with new conference, new division. Season, regardless of what happens with the 11 games that I'm sure they'll be focused on after this game ends.
Yeah, really impressive stuff. A lot to balance, a lot to learn your first year playing FBS football, and Delaware has navigated so well under head coach Ryan Carty. A flag on the play as a first down is picked up for Locklear and UTEP. 8 penalties for Delaware. I think the 8th coming up for UTEP.
Offense, number 66. 10-yard penalty, it's still 4th down.
Mark Robinson's had his name called, I think, one too many times for his liking.
The FedEx truck is in the building.
Wasn't sure if I was hearing something there. UTEP backing up and a sound effect to boot. As UTEP goes backwards to make it 4th down and 19 for the Miners, who will end what has been a disappointing season. Year 2 under Scotty Walden. I think high hopes when Malachi Nelson transferred in, as we talked about, just all the accolades he had.
That line today making such a big impact on this team as Delaware does their best to take a knee. They took a snap from under center.
Not easy.
So that's something.
For a shotgun team.
Yep.
And he had that today.
Timeout, Delaware. Their first timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
We're going to try to Pickens. Nope. Snap it one more time, probably.
Backflip from Max Patterson. Nick Minicucci with the fake backflip. Is he going to snap it one more time?
I think they're good. I don't think they'll need to snap it again.
See the embrace, Nick Minicucci, Max Patterson. Max Patterson, full of joy. What an addition he's been to this program, and what a season Nick Minicucci has had. If you're a Delaware fan, you hope it continues. You did your part.
Timeout, Delaware. Their second charge timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
Players come onto the field to, I thought, to celebrate. They're actually changing.
They're going to kick a field goal.
To kick a field goal and get to 61. On 3rd down, Delaware's going to kick a field goal to try to get 61 points and add on to the highest scoring ball game in Ryan Carty's tenure as the head man of the Blue Hens. From 45, Reed on the final play of the regular season hits it. The Blue Hens get to 6 wins, and in their midnight uniforms may have extended the clock on their first season of FBS football. What a way to end it.
527 total yards for this Delaware offense, 300 in the air, 200 rush yards for this Delaware offense. Kind of thought that's what we would see from this UTEP offense, who only ended up with 56 rush yards on the day, but did throw it for 344 yards and put up 31 points on the board. Just a really fun offensive group.
Don't know if Coach Walden loved the decision to add points with 1 second left, but Delaware gets just 6 wins in year 1 of FBS competition. They'll look for help now around college football to reach a bowl game. Delaware gets to 6 wins, which makes you bowl eligible. They were ineligible because of year 1 being in FBS football, but if not enough teams win 6, Delaware could get an offer to play in a bowl game. They've done their part. They'll watch scoreboards around college football the rest of the day. 61-31, an emphatic victory to end the year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I heard some Boca chants out there. I don't know what that was all about.
I hear it's lovely this time of year. So for the last time from Delaware Stadium in 2025, we say goodbye. A big thanks to our producer, Caleb Flieger, and the entire ESPN Plus production team working on this broadcast. For Pat Devlin, I'm Scott Klatzkin saying goodbye from Newark, where the Blue Hens are victorious with a final score of 61-31. And now we scoreboard watch the rest of the day to find out Delaware's bowl game status. What a fun season. So glad to be a part of it. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.